coming to you live from our studios along Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. First, here are the main local and international news headlines. At a joint meeting in Farafenni on Tuesday, President Barrow said his alliance with other political parties is for peace, development and national reconciliation. Also at CRR on Wednesday, President Barrow pledged that his government will accomplish a nationwide electricity coverage before 2023 and that plans are afoot to build skill centers across the country for quick, quality and productive training for youth. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare has validated the National Action Plan, which translates into policies and programs, the UN's Landmark Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security. In international news, following a successful military coup in Guinea on September 5th, the junta leaders are holding a series of consultations, which they say will lead to the formation of a transitional government. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you if you're just joining us. This is QTV News. At a joint meeting in Farafenni on Tuesday, President Barrow assured Gambians of his government's commitment to bringing the much-needed developments for the country and that his alliance with other political parties is for peace, development and national reconciliation. Mudulamin Choi reports.
Gambians from 3 constituencies, namely Sabah Sanja, Lower and Upper Salem, have gathered for a joint meeting with the President at Farafenni. The event is attended by people from various political backgrounds united with a common purpose, that is to support President Adam Barrow's development projects. President Barrow takes the opportunity to defend his party's alliance with the PPP, APRC, GPDP and the NCP.
It is in the supreme interest of reconciliation in this country. It is in the interest of national security.
People's dialogue with the President highlights the need for another term for the President to be able to complete ongoing development projects and others in the pipeline.
Parce que ku seetlu fu Bambali nekk ak fi Bambali war a fajoo ñu tawatal la lopitaan rek nga jox leen ko dëgg Adama Barrow gàcce ngalaama.
Villages in the North Bank region have become the first to receive their ambulances from the President. Also, at this Farafenni meeting, more ambulances were presented to village heads. Among the objectives of the ambulances, according to the President, is for quick response to emergencies.
President Barrow Gambia la bata la fole talala. Sako sasa tol. Sako musol membe kuliare. Wale asabu. Nga ambulance tanse isang. Wokono jama baabe be tal kala ñing ambulance si falle de mil be tal la saatol kono ambulance yeb nekk ci lopitane way ambulance la yi nekk ci technique ni jël ñi febar ci seen néegi wala kër yobul leen fajukaay.
The Minister of Tourism, Hamad N. Keba, delivers a statement on the impact of the COVID-19 in the country, which he said is a contributing factor to the spike in prices of basic commodities in the country and around the world. The NRP leader's remarks underscores the government's commitment to alleviate the suffering of the people.
Solo moy ñun Gambia fokk ñu mëna béyal suñu bopp dundal suñu bopp bañ a jënd maalo ci biti bañ a jënd sukur ci biti bañ a jënd beneen fexe ci biti ñu mëna góor suñu bopp ku mo tandi fulo be Gambia di ngol fo nga wakili ngan fansu maano Sénégal ngan na balu fegolu sukurol ni o sifal ngi Sénégal so don la bank.
The President and his delegation visited Kuntawur Mixed Farming Center and will be holding meetings in Basse, Panchang and Nyangen where development projects will be discussed with communities. Mahmoud Lamin Choi for QTV News, reporting from the North Bank region.
On Wednesday at Panchang, President Barrow pledged that his government will accomplish a nationwide electricity coverage before 2023. The president made this statement in response to people's demands for access to electricity and other basic facilities. Murulamin Choi again.
Access to electricity has become a necessity for a developing country like the Gambia, which the current government has made some progress through rural electricity expansion project. In his dialogue with the people of Upper and Lower Salem, the president expressed his belief that access to electricity promotes socio-economic developments in the country and has transformed the lives of people in their respective endeavors.
Bala ñoo wax 2023 Gambia ye bem daj mboolem ku nekk Gambia su nekkoon si pax nga dëkk sax dinañ la jox courant.
Through the Rural Electricity Expansion Project, President Barrow's government has provided electricity supply to communities in the North Bank region. The most recent was completed and inaugurated in November 2020 in Kiang, Guinea. This project provides electricity to over 80 communities in Kiang and the Greater Banjul area.
Nit ñi soxla nañ courant. Courant su amee si dëkk. Dafay soppi nit ñi seen dunda. te ñun loolu mooy suñ taxawaay pour dimbale nit ñi. kon maa ngi oo waa Gambia yëpp. ñëpp ñëw jàppale ma ñu bokk ci liggéey bi.
The joint meeting was held in Panchang in Lower Salem district, which brought together a huge crowd rallying support for the government. The people are demanding for more progress in the much needed basic amenities, namely health, infrastructure, electricity, water, education and access to farming tools. Hamad Nkeba, the party leader of the NRP and the Minister for Tourism, spoke to Gambians at the joint meeting in Panjang and refreshes people's memories on the infrastructure developments the government has delivered for the country. Mr. Ba concludes that the completed projects are a living testimony to the President's commitment to development. Like in previous meetings, President has presented ambulances to 4 villages in Lower and Upper Salem district, namely Jarga Balangar, Maka Alisar and Jariga Tamba. Also to support women in their business endeavor through the government's Women's Enterprise Fund. President Barrow has presented a check for $1.3 million for 20 women groups as loan for the purpose of business with a 5% interest. In response to the needs of the agriculture sector, the head of state announces to distribute new tractors, rice and coarse milling machines for villages before the end of the month. Mohamed Lamin Chai, QTV News, reporting from the Central River region.
Still on Meet the People tour, President Barrow, among other things, informed supporters at a meeting in Yangon of his plan to build skill centers across the country for quality and productive training for youth. More in this report by Mohamed Lamin Choi.
In Yangon, in the Central River region, supporters of the National People's Party, NPP, from Nyanija, Nyani and Sami constituencies gathered in a joint meeting in a show of solidarity. They outlined their development needs and the President gave his pledge to establish skill centers to train the youth in various careers.
Mina skill center balle ke ka region wo region kono so da nite buta region o mento e la skills training kele la region kilingol to man lafta kala ni skill center ndi ngoti de lafta ke skill center li me alon ko ni mol karanta je jita e be macho la le be pare la pour que da marché o kono idaya doko ke faye wala modo yeta doko wala
The Alcalo of Nyangen village affirmed people's support for the NPP for the continuing development in their area. On the challenges of his village, the Alcalo asked the President to help address the education and health needs of his people.
L'hôpital Ndiobène bi ma passé ñi seen ñaan ambulance bu baax ci dëkk surtout l'hôpital.
District chiefs have also showed their gratitude for the President's commitment to democracy and the development of the country. Other speakers from the 3 districts acknowledged the new developments in the region during the present government, but they also expressed some of the challenges facing their communities. For proper healthcare service delivery, President Adama Barrow updated the people on the rehabilitation and construction of new health facilities across the country. Earlier in the tour, the President had announced that the government had purchased 80 new ambulances to be distributed to all constituencies across the country.
Kas wolof kas fula ibe boholo sotla nyani polel fula ani wolof cluster wol fana be boholo sotla nyani kayay wol fana be boholo sotla.
After his dialogue with people in Sierra North and South, the President will tonight conduct site visits of projects and finally hold meetings in Jimara and flooded constituencies. Mohamed Lamin Chai, QTV News reporting from Upper River Region.
From that report, now we are going to take a short commercial break, and when we return, we have some more local and international news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow. Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, and if you're just joining us, this is QTV News. Now, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare has validated the National Action Plan, which translates into policies and programs the UN's Landmark Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security. Babukar C. attended the event, and this is his report.
This resolution addresses the impact of war on women and the importance of women's full and equal participation in the prevention and resolution of conflict, peace negotiations, peace building, peacekeeping, humanitarian response, and in post-conflict reconstruction. It also stresses the need for establishment special measures to prevent women and girls from conflict-related sexual violence. The day-long activity brought together women from various organizations. Welcoming the participants, the Director of Gender and Women Empowerment at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Ms. Marianne Garmi Jabang, reminded the gathering on the importance of the validation.
Today we're gathered here to validate the second draft action plan, and the presence and technical input of all our esteemed participants in this very significant document is highly cherished. You have all been selected to be part of this validation because of the joint passion that you share with us for women, peace, and security agenda. UNSCR Resolution 1325 places noteworthy emphasis on two important areas: the impact of war and conflict on girls and women, and the vital role that women should play in peace building.
Representing the UNDP resident representative in the Gambia, Ida Person, a transitional justice specialist, said the UN Security Council Resolution 1325 was adopted in 2000 to ensure that UN member states provide greater participation and representation for women in decision-making processes.
Very important instrument, and therefore all UN member states are required to develop national action plans for its implementation. We'd like to commend the Gambia for developing a well-costed national action plan in 2012 and now again in 2021, noting that the Gambia is one of the few ECOWAS countries to do so, and noting as well that in the Gambia we have not experienced conflict as in other places.
Kajali Sonko, the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, thanked the UNDP for the support over the years and highlighted the importance of the document.
This is not a government instrument. Civil society also have a very critical role in terms of peace and security of this country and beyond. We are within the zone where conflict is seen as an instrument of depression. What other countries that are on what we call a volatile stage. So having this NAP is to ensure that we have a hotspot of identifying things that we need to address. And of course, making sure that women play a very critical role.
Resolution 1325 was the first formal and legal document from the Security Council that required parties in a conflict to prevent violations of women's rights, to support women's participation in peace negotiations and in post-conflict reconstruction, and to protect women and girls from wartime sexual violence. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
Following the installment of 35 solar-powered lights in Gunjur in August this year, Techwall Company over the weekend installed another 75 powered solar lights in other neighborhoods across Gunjur. Ansumane Sonyasi reports.
This latest intervention from Techwall Company Limited has been widely applauded by residents of Gunjur, many of whom expressed profound gratitude to Mr. Ibrahim Toure, CEO of Techwall Company, who is also a native of the coastal town. Several neighborhoods, including the Central Mosque and Market, are the beneficiaries of what is being described as the biggest renewable energy project in Gunjur. It will also have the added bonus of deterring night attacks, which are caused mostly because of the dark streets, according to the residents. Speaking to QTV, Abdul Toure, a resident of Gunjur who owns a barber shop, says the installment of these solar-powered lamps couldn't be timelier, as frequent power cuts have been affecting his business.
When the place is dark, customers may return back to their final homes. As you know, when the current system is not stable, so sometimes when current is off, customers may do use to go back. But if at all these solar lights are installed in the street, they will still sit down and wait for the current. Anytime when the current system is back again, I'll continue my work.
Yaya Sise and Maijame are also residents of Gunjur. Their neighborhood has benefited from Techwall's latest initiative.
We are praying that God bless him with more resources and strength to be able to continue the good work he has been doing. He is serving humanity, and we are grateful. Just look around you. It's very clear out here. I feel safe and happy.
So we are very grateful to Techwall, especially the CEO, Ibrahim Toure. Just look around. All you see is mango trees, and the whole place is usually dark, especially when there is no electricity. Recently, there have been rise in crime and theft in our community, and most of these incidents happen at night when the place is usually very dark.
Hatab Nyang is the spokesperson of Techwall Company. He says the company is happy to always support Gambians, especially the vulnerable in the communities, and urge the people of Gunjur to take good care of the lamps in order to ensure longevity.
Started installing these lights. People are coming to me, thanking, show their joy and all that. And then, in terms of security, there's one place around the garage, Gunjur garage, there's big mango trees there. Normally, before the installment of these solar lights, criminals go and hide out in those places, snatching people's phones, like that, snatching people's bags. But, we thank God, since the installment of these lights, those are not happening. The criminals are not hiding.
The donation of these solar-powered lamps is one of many community support initiatives undertaken by Techwall, and officials say this latest intervention is part of their commitment to fulfill the company's corporate social responsibility. Ansumane Sonyasi for QTV News.
And that report will take us to international news. Following a successful military coup in Guinea on September 5th, The junta leaders are holding series of consultations with political, religious and business leaders, which they say will lead to the formation of a transitional government.
This was the first of many meetings that the National Committee for Rally and Development, CNRD, led by Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya, is expected to have with political activists, civil society and international representatives. According to a Reuters report, the coup leaders say the week-long consultations will lay the framework for the formation of a government of national unity. Some prominent figures have welcomed the move. Sidia Toure, head of the Union of Republican Forces Party, said the meetings would help Guinea handle the transition and move forward to a new constitutional order acceptable to Guineans. Ousmane Kaba, a former minister in Alpha Conde's administration and the head of the opposition party of Democrats for Hope, said that the military coup was to stop what he described as an institutional constitutional coup made by Conde, who had changed the constitution to run for a third term. Kaba, like many others, called on the international community to help the country during this period. However, there are concerns among political observers over the duration of the transition and who will lead it. ECOWAS, having already suspended Guinea from its decision-making bodies, has called for a short civilian-led transition. Though the coup had sparked swift condemnations from ECOWAS, EU, UN and the US, it has been cautiously welcomed by other long-time opponents of Condé, including Guinea's most prominent opposition figure, Cellou Dalein Diallo, who had lost to the ousted leader in the last 3 presidential elections. Diallo was among the opposition leaders who met the junta on Tuesday. And following the session, Diallo was quoted by Reuters news agency saying, "We are going to return to our respective staffs and alliances to try to formulate in writing our version, our proposals that we will submit to the new authorities." Later in the week, the junta plans to host leaders from Guinea's mining industry in a bid to reassure foreign companies working in the most vital sector of the country's economy, according to reports. The coup in Guinea has raised fears of democratic backsliding across West Africa. Commentators have drawn parallels with Mali, which suffered 2 army uprisings since August last year. ECOWAS imposed economic sanctions on Mali last year, but lifted them after Mali's ruling military committed to restoring civilian rule. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
Before we end this news bulletin, now a recap of our main news headlines. At a joint meeting in Farafenni on Tuesday, President Barrow said his alliance with other political parties is for peace, development and national reconciliation. Also at CRR on Wednesday, President Barrow pledged that his government will accomplish a nationwide electricity coverage before 2023 and that plans are afoot to build skill centers across the country for quality and productive training for youth. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare has validated the National Action Plan, which translates into policies and programs. The UN's landmark Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security. In international news, following a successful military coup in Guinea on September 5th, the junta leaders are holding a series of consultations, which they say will lead to the formation of a transitional government. That's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again at 10 for another bulletin.